Today, we're going to be tying up an extremely buggy pattern that I like to use to imitate hexes to fish for trout in ponds, but it would also make for a great carp pattern. To tie it, we'll start off with some rust-colored thread, secure it to our hook shank, and wrap to the bend of our hook. At which point, we'll grab some pheasant tail. I like to use the side with a little extra flashy iridescence, pulling free a small clump of about 8 to 10 fibers, and securing it tightly to the back of your fly. You can use thread tension to help splay them apart. With this complete, we'll secure them tightly in place and snip the excess free. We'll then cover up our tag ends and grab a spare hook shank that we've removed the barb and thread from. Insert a tungsten bead onto this and secure it tightly so it protrudes slightly past our previous hook eye. You can also use a small nail for this. However, I like to have the extra option, as fishing it as a balanced jig or a traditional fly. We'll make sure that we secure it tightly in place, taking several thread wraps over the top of it, taking extra care at the back end of the hook shank, as this will be the sharper portion. With this complete, we'll grab some wire. Here I'm using brassy, securing it to the hook shank and wrapping back towards our tail. With this complete, we'll set it aside, wrapping back up towards our second hook shank before grabbing some pheasant tail. We'll pull a few fibers free and secure them just behind this hook shank, helping to even out the transition. Secure it tightly in place and use your thread to continue building up this transition. We'll then grab some dubbing. You can use whatever dubbing you like, but here I'm using a specific carp blend that has a mixture of several synthetic fibers that gives it an extremely buggy look. We'll strip a bit free and create a dubbing noodle. With this complete, we'll begin wrapping it forward in close touching spirals, building up a slight transition, working towards our hook eyes. Continue to add or tighten the dubbing as needed until you reach your first hook eye. At which point, we'll brush it all out to give it a nice, buggy look. With this complete, we'll grab our pheasant tail, folding it over and securing it just in front of the dubbing. Snip your excess free and cover up the tag ends. Next, we'll grab our copper wire and begin wrapping this forward in open spirals, taking care to trap as little dubbing as possible. You can use your fingers to help maneuver it out of the way, and in the process, make sure that the tension you're putting on your thread is not twisting around your pheasant tail. Continuing to do this until we reach the hook eyes. At which point, we'll secure the wire tightly in place, taking thread wraps both in front, as well as behind the wire, and helicoptering the excess free. With this complete, we'll brush it out once again to help remove any of those trapped fibers before grabbing some more pheasant tail. We'll secure one clump on top of the hook shank, wrapping back towards our dubbing. At which point, we'll grab 2 more clumps, securing each of them to face off opposite sides of our initial clump. This will help create a more full and better looking wing case. However, if you're just looking to spin these up quickly, you can save some time by just using the initial one. With these secured in place, we'll create another dubbing noodle and begin wrapping it forward up towards the bead, continuing to build up our transition in the process. Of course, brush it out to give it a nice buggy look, and fold over your pheasant tail, leaving a little bit of slack to give it a more bubbled look, before securing it down tightly in place using your thread. Secure both in front as well as behind before snipping the excess free. At which point, we'll once again brush it out to give it that nice, buggy look. Finally, we'll grab some more pheasant tail, selecting 1 or 2 fibers and creating a knot in them to mimic legs. We'll secure about 4 of these to either side of the fly, giving the pattern an extremely buggy look. Continue to add as many as you'd like until you're happy before trimming the excess free. Whip finish, holding it all together, snip your thread free and add some UV resin to the back of our fly, giving the wing case some shine while also increasing its durability. And finally, brush it all out to give it an extremely buggy look. And this is an extremely buggy pattern that I like to fish in ponds for brook trout, and it can represent just about anything from leeches to hellgrammites, dragonflies, and even larger mayfly species. But its a buggy appearance would also make it a great carp pattern. Thank you for watching, subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one.